Bill, you should tell us a scary story. Let's throw that on to the podcast. Let's do it.
I don't know any, man. No, it's been so
come on.
long.
Aren't we living through one?
Yeah, just pull up the news real quick and just read it.
One time, this reality TV show star got elected to be the president of the country.
Oh my God.
Just start reading 1984.
And then everybody died.
You're listening to the Noon 15 podcast. I'm your host, Dan Cole, and I'll take you behind the scenes of Noon 15, an independent band writing, performing, and recording original music. This season, we'll talk about the band's sophomore album, Finish What You Started, and get the story behind one song per episode, as well as the ups and downs of working around day jobs, babies, and band shakeups here in Ithaca, New York. At the end of each episode, you'll hear the song in its finished form. Thanks for listening, and welcome to Noon 15, the podcast.
So I've been trying to think about this as the Quarrencast.
Yes.
You know, the last one we did was pretty much remote, but this just, of course, has a whole different feel to it. Mm-hmm. And I'll say for months now, I've been just waiting to see the kind of creativity that has been afforded by 4 months of such creative people not being able to be out there doing their thing. How long has Outside been in the works, if you will?
Dunning and Kruger tell us things are looking good, and they're outside, baby, they're outside. We should have known they would. I grin and bear it like I should, but you're outside, baby, you're outside.
Has it been 4 months? Has it been 4 days?
So it was fairly early on in like that initial quarantine. When at the very beginning of it all, I was like manically productive. I don't know. I like wrote a bunch of solo tunes. I messed around with some stuff for Noon 15. I reached out to like a bunch of different random musicians that I know locally and just like through the internet, and like just was like, let's just make something, because that was just my means of processing everything that was going on. And but I really wanted something that we could do with Noon 15 that would be, an interesting project that would generate something new, and that also kind of carried with it some kind of like character of what it was like to be isolated at that time. And so, I don't know, I think it just kind of popped into my brain one morning. I was in the shower and I texted Sam as soon as I got out of the shower. I was still naked. So now, Sam, you can think about
Usually,
that. I have a feeling
him.
it's a two-way street too.
Yeah.
Sam was like, Harry, you have really fat fingers. This is strange.
Yeah, and I texted everybody out and I said I wanted to make a found sound thing with just the noises of quarantine. And that's how the idea was born. And from there, it kind of took life. And so then I just told everybody to send me videos of them doing things and sounds. And
then you made it into the beat that it is, basically?
Yeah, kind of. I saw what I got. Because I have done like, little experiments like it before, nothing that ever came to anything, but I knew kind of what I was looking for, as far as the sounds that I would need. And so I got a few sounds that I liked that I could use. And then after that, I texted out specific people and was like, hey, can you blow in a beer bottle? Or can you, I just like started looking for things that I thought that I would need.
When I first got the song from Sam, he had kind of loosely described it as just like sounds of quarantine. I didn't really wrap my head around what exactly that meant in this case. I'm listening through, and right off the bat, it's like, wow, I've never heard anything like this from Noon 15, Mm-hmm. And I'm going throughout the song like, hold on, is Joe still in the band? Did I miss something? Like, what is everyone actually doing here? And then I watched the video that you made, Harry, and it changed everything. I get it now,
Right. Without any context, it would be very confusing. You'd think that we have completely replaced the band with a really lackluster drum machine and a mellotron, and that's it. So the drums were a kick drum made out of Tommy hitting a window. There you go. The hi-hat was a little hydrogen peroxide spray bottle. So Phil sent me this beautiful video that was the most useful video. It's because he's a drummer and he knows what he's doing. But he just he sent me this when I first sent out send me the sounds of what you're doing. He sent me this video of him cracking open something. I think it was a beer or something. I don't know.
White Claw.
And he just milked out all. Was it a hard claw?
A hard claw?
I respect you less.
They say they taste shitty, right? I'm sorry. This is is a classic Mandy tangent, but why do people fucking like White Claw? It tastes bad.
Because it's low calorie
Dorian
and we're dispensing with the pleasantry of enjoying the flavor. Let's just get down to brass tacks. You want to be drunk and you don't want to get fat. So here, have a fucking White Claw.
Here's what it tastes like to me. Here's how I would describe it. It tastes like the fart of a vodka cranberry.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes
right.
like to me. Or like the armpit.
Are you coming from the perspective of somebody that's had a lot of vodka cranberries or tasted a lot of farts?
So anyway, we were talking about what sounds are on the track. Cracking open of a can is everything from a snare drum rim shot to little ghost notes and all the I milked the can for all the sounds that it was worth, and it was great. And then he slurped it, and I turned that into sort of a filter sweep, and he went, and that was our crash cymbal. And I just used the hell out of that one video for a lot of our drums. And then we had Mason play the snare. He just hit it. That was a fun little.
He did a little flam. That wasn't bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his Noon 15 shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. For bass, I blew onto a growler just to get the lowest sounding bottle noise I could. We had Mandy play not only an Elijah Craig bottle, but a Woodford Reserve bottle.
I saw that, yeah.
See, so there's another one with another frequency. Here we go.
Got a nice little Doppler effect there.
Okay, one more. Here we go.
Appreciate the fine differences in timbre there. Joe played a beer bottle. Kat clinked some wine glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Mandy and I played Legend of Zelda on N64.
That's right, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
If you hit CF, will she say listen? Great. We got so many good sounds.
We got some hey listens in there. Our main pad was, I was just playing around with Tommy, and he just did some cooing and eyeing, and I sort of took that. Everything, all the tone, pitch instruments, I basically just took the original sound and repitched everything into what I wanted it to be.
Whenever we get around to playing live again, it means I'm going to have to figure out how to resample and then play the sound of Harry's son going,
I'll send it to you because I have it now that it's all tuned up, it's I could just send you whatever pitches you want.
And
really.
the new sampler in Logic is really great. I can absolutely make it just a patch that I can play. So it's happening.
That's awesome.
So there were no, if you will, traditional instruments used in this song. Is that right?
Well, there was a snare, but it wasn't our traditional drummer.
Played by a small child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to do my rundown of crediting everyone in the band and what they played, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of came up empty-handed with it. This was just a full team effort. But so Harry, you kind of just said make crazy noises and send them to me. You made this beat up in your head. Did you Like you put it all together too, and then made the video, did everything?
Well, I made the beat and I wrote the chords and the structure and everything, but I didn't write the tune or the lyrics. And because I wanted there to be, part of what makes Noon 15, I think, is the collaboration. So I wanted there to be collaboration. And so I sent it off to Sam.
Yeah. So Harry sent us this crazy track then after he'd been very, patiently getting us to make all these sounds.
So the beat and everything pretty much laid down.
I just kind of wrote a melody and lyrics to how I heard it. And it's a weird form, like one verse, and then it's just kind of a pre-chorus and choruses, and all the choruses have different lyrics for the most part.
Right.
But it just seemed to fit.
Fighting so hard to be a cog in the machine while they're outside, baby, so outside, 2 ears, no in between.
It's funny. I wrote the lyrics. It must have been late March or early April after you had put it together. And at the time, people were protesting lockdown. And there's, it was I saw that picture that was going around a lot of the angry white guy who looks like the creepy pawnbroker from Parks and Recreation, screaming into the face of a police officer with a mask. Yeah. So when I wrote the song, it was about that. It was about, why is this worth protesting when we're trying to deal with public health?
Yeah.
Just want to keep my family safe, but there's no space to hide. Dunning and Kruger tell us things aren't looking good, and they're outside, baby, they're outside. We should have known they would.
But then it took us a while, Mandy and I were moving and stuff, so we didn't actually record vocals or anything for a minute. And then by the time we were ready to do that, all of a sudden saying that the protesting is stupid felt really different, because people were protesting things other than, just haircuts. Not being able to get their haircut.
Things that are actually a threat to the American population, like police brutality, not wearing masks, which ironically...
Not according to the people that you were talking about in the song, though.
Yeah, we're talking about the same people here, I guess, right?
Their fragile egos are very threatened by masks.
Yeah. I didn't have to change much, but just a little bit, so it didn't sound like a song about protesting being dumb. It's a song about what makes outrage over scientifically determined public safety measures permissible by the state, but outrage over state-sanctioned violence means you get shot at and persecuted. So, that's for this whimsical number. Those are the lighthearted lyrics that I was inspired to write.
Forgive me if this is a stupid question, but should I know who Dunning and Kruger are?
I'm so glad you asked.
Dunning and Kruger tell us things aren't looking good, and they're outside.
I knew that this might come up.
So the Dunning-Kruger effect is the name of the scientifically observable phenomenon that the less actual knowledge you have about a subject or situation, the more confident you are that you're right about it.
Right.
So,
wow, I like that term. That's nice to know.
Joe, I knew you would.
Yeah, it was Dunning and Kruger were these two I forget what university they were associated with, but they did some. We heard about this on NPR, of course.
This American Life.
On This American Life. But they like did some study where they checked with people who, how confident they were about how they were going to do on a test, and pretty much across the board, it's the people who had no idea what they were doing that were like, I'm going to nail this. And the people who really knew the material were always like really anxious about making sure that, the more you know, the more you don't know. Right.
Yeah. Right.
And it's really the theme for our times. So, I
grew up in Newark Valley. It's been a theme for a while, but I never knew the term, but it makes perfect sense, really.
The more you know, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
We're going to have to pay royalties on this podcast now.
Fuck. No, that was like half a line. Sorry,
credit them. Yeah, there you go. You credited them, so it's good.
Yeah.
So it's all it was all about encapsulating this era we're living through in this, especially, being a band from the United States. It's a real badge of pride right now, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So the vocals here, Sam and Mandy, obviously, I'm sure recorded theirs in the same realm, but Harry, I imagine you did yours somewhere else and phoned it in kind of thing?
Yeah,
Harry's always phoning it in.
I'm always. Sam and Mandy sent me theirs, and I popped them into a session, and then just went up into my music nook and did mine. Try to make sure. If you look at me closely in the video, I have this kind of very frightening look on my face, and it's because I am staring so intensely at the lyrics because I need to make sure that I get them exactly right with the same timing that Sam and Mandy did.
Yeah.
And it just makes me look really fucking angry at something just off camera. I'm
the lyricist, probably.
The first couple of takes, I feel like my face was like, I had a very furrowed brow, I'll say.
We need descriptive audio.
I was trying to we usually before we record, we've played the song a few times, but of course, like I'm just singing along to this track. And so, yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of lock them all in there.
I think you can really tell the elements that are the collaboration as writers between me and Harry, because the track is this really infectious but still clever pop groove, and the lyrics are this barrage of syllables that
when I heard the demo, I like shouted across the house to Sam. I was like, God fucking damn it, you're making me say Dunning and Kruger every hook. Dunning and Kruger. It's like, it's a hard and it's not, it like doesn't make sense emphatically or anything. So yeah. But it's the lyrics are pretty vicious, really. So it's a lot of fun digging into them once I sort of knew where they all happened.
What was going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be expected, right? That you run into some things that obviously aren't the same as when you're all in the same room. Was there anything that you were like, oh, wow, I didn't think this would be such a big problem?
We changed the key of the track.
We changed the key. Harry did his part. Like, it's been done for like 2 months now. And we were like, yeah, we'll record those vocals for you, pal. And then like, whatever it was, like it was probably close to 3 months after he finished the track that we're doing the vocals. And I'm texting him like, hey, how hard would it be for you to bump all the sounds up a whole step? So it's because I wasn't thinking about I had no idea what key it was in, because it was just, we never played anything on it. Right. It's all, so I'm like,
sounds, yeah.
Oh, that melody line I wrote it would fit a lot better in Mandy's voice if we just ratcheted it up. Just
B flat is a good key for me, but the tessitura was very low.
Look in the street at the huddled, self-absorbed. They are armed to the teeth to demand a haircut.
Yeah, well, honestly, that said, that little like hiccup really was not that huge an issue in the grand scheme of things. It was like I was literally able to just like pop on a pitch shifter for all the toned instruments, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Back when you guys were like in the middle of moving, and I was like, "Hey, you guys, can you like stop everything you're doing and record this song?" I was like, "No, it's okay. You know what? They're busy. I'll tackle this from like another angle." And so I started like making a video. And that was a big fucking mistake. I like, there's like a whole other video session file that is just right in the garbage. It will just never see the light of day, where I was trying to build it up, every instrument, quote unquote, air quotes here, on its own track in this video file on a computer that is not made to process video. And it is just absolutely, it's like there's a room in hell where somebody just has to like line up this fucking video track to make it play. Anyway, so yes, there was definitely a learning curve as far as making music this way for me. From a video editing standpoint, certainly.
The video is incredible, dude. I can't. There are so many little tiny cuts in it. Holy shit. Only imagine. Also, it destroyed me
what consistently made me crack up laughing is your selfie zooming in. I knew
It's really creepy, man.
It's so
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. It's great though.
Oh my god.
Just keep
Right,
going.
that's the last one, right?
I'm
Last one.
sorry, Joe. That's your solo.
there are
Like,
her
I know that like you didn't actually play that solo or write it even or imagine it, but like it's your bottle sound. Oh, that whole solo is your bottle sound.
Oh, I love it.
And but I just thought
You
it
gotta
was
learn that
funnier
solo
to
now, man.
see this emerging horror face from Mandy
Your fucking face.
rather than the same little blip of your bottle sounds coming in over and over again.
I described it to Harry as perfectly excruciatingly long. It's so long. Oh my god.
It feels like it's like half the video.
But I feel like we just need to commit to it at this point because we goofy.
Yeah.
We goofy.
Find some crazy sound on your vocal pedal and learn that shit.
Yeah, I'm getting to know the vocal pedal a little bit better.
Yeah.
That thing is very complicated.
And make that face when you're singing.
I can't wait.
That's the one right there.
With the teeth
if you
out?
can do that and sing at the same time.
It's not a
Maybe
great.
you have to hum or
it's
something. I don't
vocally,
know.
like as a voice teacher, I don't think I should do that.
That doesn't
See,
fucking
Joe,
matter. Whatever sound comes out, like
Show must go
That's
on.
you got like
right.
auto tune
Yeah,
on that
exactly.
pedal or
I'll
something
have
like
it
that.
modulate.
Yeah, there you
Because
go.
my
Yeah,
idea
perfect.
for our eventual like band live arrangement is I think Joe should play the solo on the guitar, and I think Mandy should slowly walk off the stage and into the crowd, making that face.
There are a lot of like hypothetical videos and performances that involve me doing some weird shit,
Like
while
a
making,
Japanese horror movie.
like direct eye contact with the audience or camera.
But that is something I've been curious about is how do you play this live?
We'll
One
see.
day we'll play together again, and we'll find out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys haven't had a chance to even play together still.
No. The five of us have not been able to play together in different combinations. Some of us have seen each other.
Are you looking to make any plans to get out there? Things are opening up a bit. Bands are starting to play out places. Is that anything you're discussing or not right now?
I think it depends on the situation, right? There are
Sure.
certain things that I would say yes to, and certain things that I see the red flags. I'd be happy to have the relief of getting to play with all these folks again and perform a little bit. But I'm with this group of people. I'm in it for the long haul, so I want there to be a long haul.
Play a gig where people have to be 6 feet apart, wearing masks and all that. It's like I'm down to wait until we can not have to do all that stuff and actually be social. Like I know I get it. Like I understand the precautions and all that stuff, but I'm willing to wait it out personally.
Yeah.
I'd rather just go and hang out and jam just with like the five of us than play some half-assed gig where people people can't really dance, right? People can't really, so it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
They weren't dancing before. We'll play that. We'll play that Ransom Steel Tavern gig. That was really our first socially distant gig.
We played plenty of socially distanced gigs. I guess playing for people for 10 half capacity or less, standing 6 feet apart wouldn't really be that weird.
Yeah.
What I've said to some bandmates is like we all have different levels of comfort, but it's not just comfort, right? It's our bodily safety that's the concern. So you can't go with the person who's most comfortable in that situation. You have to go with whomever needs to feel the most safe. That's what you got to do. It will feel the best when quarantine is over to play with this band, my band, again.
There's like a risk assessment that you make when you play a gig under these conditions. And like, I just can't imagine the kind of gig you're allowed to have now possibly outweighing, you know, for me, the risk for me, just because, like, you know, I have lots of vulnerable people in my immediate association that are just
Yeah, sure.
Three out of 5 of us are playing gigs right now, by the way. So like 3 out of 5 of us have played gigs. Gigs on Friday.
Weird problems that I never ran into before, I'm now running into. Like, my funding for making new music is like dried up, and like I have no way to replenish that. And it's just completely bizarre. It's such a weird time, but like, I don't know. At the same time, it's also kind of pushing me. If part of this band has always been building an online following, then it seems like now would be the time to pioneer a way to do that.
To that end, you know, it's not the time to look at gigging and all that. So what are you looking at right now? How are you keeping busy?
Well, I made a video where I took a bunch of bullshit and I turned it into music. So who's next?
Looking ahead, what are you looking ahead to at this point? You know,
I've written a few new songs for this band over quarantine. So we've got those, but we also have tracks from Finish What You Started that we're gonna finish what we started.
Yeah, we got a few in the can.
Well, that brings me around, I guess, to my usual rundown, right? So, Outside by Noon 15. We have 3 vocalists in this song, Mandy Goldman, Sam Lupowitz, and Harry Nichols. The 3 of them also play other instruments.
Noises.
Also on other instruments in this song, we have Joe Massa, Phil Shea, Kat Nichols, Thomas Nichols, and Mason Massa. Did I miss anyone?
Gordy,
of course. Gordy Goldman?
Gordy Goldman.
Gordy the cat? Gordy Goldman. Okay.
Gordy Goldman. He's my child. He's my old Jewish child.
Truth collide. Dunning and Kruger tell us things are looking good, and they're outside, baby, they're outside. We should have known they would. I grin and bear it like I should, but you're outside, baby, you're outside. Whoa, whoa. I fight to keep my family safe. That's when the troops will ride. I can't imagine this. We all are feeling bleak, but they're outside, baby. Look outside. They're threatening the weak. The world is on a losing streak, 'cause they're outside, selfish and outside. Fighting so hard to be a cog in the machine while they're outside, baby. So outside, 2 ears, no in between. The emperor plays the violin while they're outside.
Thanks for listening to the Noon 15 podcast. Visit noon15.com to subscribe and for more music, videos, and info on upcoming shows. If you like what you hear, tell your friends and leave us a review on iTunes. Tune in next time for another trip behind the scenes with Noon 15.
There
He's a jewelry store owner for sure.
He's Gordy Goldman.
Gordy Goldman's fine jewelry. You gonna stare at the case or you gonna buy something? What are you doing?